Alright, so I'm going to be showing you how I color grade, my current color grading at least. So it's going to be a lot, well not a lot, but yeah, I'll just show you how I color grade. So what I'm going to be color grading today is I'm going to be color grading this one clip. Pretty simple, nothing crazy to it. So first thing I need to know is how contrasted and how saturated my game already is. That will help me determine how much I need to color grade. Don't overdo it, don't underdo it, put it in the middle. That's one thing I would do. The second thing I would think of is what I want it to be. Do I want a vintage style? Do I want a film style? Do I want it this sort of style? Just up to you. And also depends on the music. So the music I use for this video is kind of slow, kind of like not dramatic, but it's kind of vibey. Well, that's what I think at least. Anyways, so I'm gonna show you how I color grade. First thing you're gonna do is add a adjustment layer by pressing Control Alt Y for shortcut. No, not Control Alt Y. Sorry, my bad. Control Shift Alt Y. No, Control Alt Y. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so add your adjustment layer, cut it out. Alright, so first effect I use is something called film. So search it up here. Don't know if it's in Premiere, but it should be with Magic Boat Looks or Red Giant's plugins. So search up film. It will be this one here by saying RG Magic Bullet. Just double click on it or just drag it in. Right, and then I use another effect called exposure, just regular exposure. Alright, I'll be working with these two first and then I'll show you what else I use. So, alright, you got a lot of settings here, obviously. So first thing I do, I just experiment with what is what. So footage is flat, so it's just how it is. Video, like that, and then log, which just looks terrible. I'll use flat for now. My negative stock is it's like in Magic Bullets. It's the same concept. You just play around with the settings. I will say I like there's many ones you could use. I'll just use the stock one. Looks pretty good for my liking. Then I'll play with the print stock. So it just changes the way it looks. Just the colors, make it blue, make it whatever. I'll say I'll use this one. It's more to my liking. Right. So what I personally do, I do not use 100% strength. So I will just change down the strength. For this video I use 53. So, or you could use 65. So just so you have a balance of game and post color grading. Then what I do, I increase the brightness from our exposure. You could also use it from the film settings, but you do whatever you want. I'll just increase the brightness. So we already have a good looking image. On, off, on, off. You can already see the details between the contrast, the saturation. The yellows are more popped, orange more popped. Alright, so for the grain, I always put it 25% regardless. Just so that I don't have too much grain. Then I could also add a bit of exposure, like 0.3. Just so, or actually just 0.1 will work. Alright, then you can just decrease this to 0.6. Just so it's not too bright. So that's pretty much all I use. Skin tone is just like changes how revealing like the colors are. So if I were to, for example, put this to 50, you can't see a massive difference. But if I put this to, for example, 20, or let's say for example 0 or minus 100, you can see how greenish tinted it is. And if I put this up to 100, it's more clear. The colors are all there. I can't really explain the skin tone one. You're gonna have to play around with it, see for yourself. Alright. So next thing I use is something called noise. Even though there's already grain, I still use noise, just not too much though. So I just put in the noise effect. Turn off noise type from use colors just to regular. And then just change this to 2%. Alright. Right, that's so far. Then I use Lumetri color. So all I do with Lumetri color is I just do the basic corrections, like change up the blacks, whites, shadows, highlights, and contrast and exposure. I also played around with temperature and tint. It's really up to you. But all I really do is just turn up or down slightly, not too much. So in this case, I'll just go with like 3 up for, actually, -3. Just so I could darken up the blacks. And then turn up the whites slightly. Maybe like 10. And then for the shadows, increase it to maybe 4. Or you can turn it down actually. See how that looks. And then I'll turn up the blacks to maybe 2. Already that's looking way better. So this is off Lumetri, this is on. You can already see the difference. And then for the highlights, I either turn it up or down, depending if it's already bright enough. So in this case, I'll just turn it down to maybe like -10 or maybe -4. And then the contrast, I can either turn it up or down, depending on the shot. So in this case, I just go with 10 contrast. Then I'll just add a bit of exposure, 0.2 maybe. And then for the temperature and tint, it really depends on if it's a daytime or nighttime. Nighttime is usually like cooler, like colder, like bluish. And then for the daytime shots, mostly orange. So in this case, I don't want it to be too orange, not to be too bluey. Somewhere in the middle, so I'll just go about like maybe 3 or 5. Let's see if I turn it up maybe a bit. Yeah, something like that. Then the tint, I could just slide it whatever. It doesn't matter. You could just go with maybe -4 to have a green, and then just 4 to have a purple looking tint. So that's how I did my color grading. Then you see you just look very white, so that means you need to turn down your whites by a whole lot, or sometimes the exposure is too much. So 0.3 or maybe 0.34, and then you can turn up the exposure from the Lumetri color to maybe 0.6, and then turn down the whites a lot more, so then you can increase the exposure more. In this case, I'll use 1.2. That looks fine to me. And then the last thing I use is S-Glow, just to give some extra depth to the edges. Then I just change the brightness to maybe a 0.5 in this case. You can see what it does. It gives it that extra glow or tint to it, just so then it gives some depth to the edges, just to certain objects. And then you can change the color depending on your scene, so I might just change it to like an orangey color. But I just use white just so that it just looks better. And just change the brightness to maybe a 0.2. Alright, so that's pretty much how I color grade. You can add more if you want. You can change the noise to, like, for example, 4. Or, because I don't really like having too much noise, so I just put it to 2, or you can put it 2.4. It's up to you. Feel free to play around with the settings. And this is really all how I color grade. There's not much to it. Yeah, that's pretty much how I color grade. It's the same thing with the other clip. If I show you, where is it? So, for example, this clip, it's not too color graded, as you can tell from this perspective here. But for this example, I'll just color grade it here. So I'm just gonna drag that out, copy this. You can already see the difference in colors. It's more popped. It's more to what I like. Everyone has different ideas, different styles, so just go whatever you think looks good. So this is how it looks like. Nothing too crazy. yeah, that's pretty much how I color grade.